Who's for broomstick training? Hello balloonies. Yes, David and I are still on holiday here in the northeast in Northumberland, and we are very excited because we visited Hogwarts, which is also known as Alnwick Castle, and there we witnessed broomstick training with Madam Hooch and one of the professors. It was such fun to watch, and it made me realise that I have never shown you how to make a broomstick. So as Halloween is just around the corner, I thought I would correct that and address that. So here's my broomstick. You're going to need, I'm using a black 350. If you don't have black, you can use chocolate brown, mocha brown, really whatever colour you want your broomstick handle to be. So don't get too hung up on the colours. I've made broomsticks in all kinds of colours. And if you haven't got a 350, use a 260, just use whatever you've got. So if you can get a 350, great. If you can't, don't worry, use a 260. And you're going to need between 4 and 6 260s. So I'm using yellow, but I've used orange in the past, and again, a whole host of other colours, goldenrod, all sorts of different colours. So it just depends what you want your broomstick to look like and how full you want your broomstick to look. So I will demonstrate this design using 6 260s, and then you're going to need, or I'm going to use one black 160. So if you don't have a 160, use a 260. So this is a very versatile design, and you can really adapt it to suit whatever balloons you've got available in whatever colours you have. Okay, so let's start with the 350, and we're going to inflate this all the way. Okay, so that's inflated all the way, and then just let a little bit of air out just to soften it. Okay, and then tie a knot. Okay, so we can set this aside for the moment. Take your 260 and inflate all your 260s all the way, all the ones that you want to use for your broom. Okay. And then again, just let a little bit of air out to soften, and tie that. And then you want to fold this in half, okay, or roughly in half, and just put a twist there, okay. We can hang on to this. Next, take your 350, and at the nozzle end, you want to twist off a bubble that is a little bit shorter than your the length of your 260s. So I'm going to twist off my bubble here, okay? And I'll show you again how that compares to my 260s, okay? So my 260s are about that long, and that bubble, the black bubble, is about that long, okay? So again, this is a very forgiving design. Don't worry, don't get too hung up on how long the bubbles are, okay? So where you've twisted the yellow balloons together, you're going to twist this section into this section here, okay? So just twist everything together and wrap around. Okay, so that's what you've got at the moment. Take your next 260 and fold that in half approximately again. So just twist, and again, don't worry if it's not perfectly half the balloon, okay? And then where we connected the yellow balloon, we're going to connect this balloon as well, okay? And we're going to do that probably with the next 4 balloons, okay? So I'm just going to hang on to that, take my next 260. Could do with a bit more space here for this design, but we will manage, okay? So again, fold in half. This is actually a really quick design to make once you get the hang of it, okay? And again, at this point, wrap that other 260 around, and taking a 4th 260. Whoops. I'm taking a 4th 260, folding in half, putting a twist there, and wrapping that around there. So at the moment I've got 4 260s connected into my black 350. Next, inflate your black 160 or 260. So I inflate with the hand pump for this rather than the pocket pump. Okay, and inflate that most of the way. I've got a tail of a couple of fingers, let a little bit of air out just to soften, and then tie a knot. Okay, and then twist off a bubble of a couple of fingers, and then twist another bubble to match of a couple of fingers. Bend these two together here. Take hold of that knot and nozzle, wrap it around, and then take that knot and nozzle, pass it through the centre, and that will just pinch twist those two bubbles. And what I like to do with this design, I like to just make another pinch twist. I just twist off another bubble and then bend that over, grasp hold of this bubble here, pull it upwards, twist it around. Okay, so you've got 3 pinch twists like that. Take hold of your broomstick, and you want the black section coming through the middle of all the yellow ones, and we're just going to pull all the yellow ones in around the black one. So the reason I do it this way and that I've still not connected 2 balloons is it gets quite tricky to control if you add too many. So what I'm going to do is just pass this 160 around the back and then around the front here, just encircling the broom. And then I'm going to pull it tight. And then I'm just going to wrap this into those pinch twists. So wrap that around a few times. And then you can break off this section, but make sure to save the rest of it. Okay? Tie a knot in this section and save that because we're going to need it. So this is how the tail of your broom will look if you're using 4 260s. So that's looking pretty good, but I'm going to show you what it looks like if we just fill it out a little bit more. So take another 260 and fold that in half and twist. Okay, and you can wrap that into the broom here, wrap it around, and then take the ends and just tuck them under the 160 here. Okay, and then take your last 260 and again wrap that in here. And tuck in wherever you can see a gap. So this section here, it feels a bit wobbly, so we need to give it a little bit of support, and for that we can use this little piece of 160 that we saved and just wrap that around. If you want to, you can use pinch twist to twist in here, but you might just want to twist off a bubble there and take that knot and nozzle, wrap it around a couple of times, and then just trim off the end here. Tie these 2 ends together. And I like to tie 2 knots here just to be on the safe side. Okay, we can trim off the messy bits and just tidy that up a little bit. And if you don't like doing pinch twists, you can actually use the same technique we used here instead of using pinch twists here. So again, as I said, it's a very versatile design. If you've enjoyed this video, I think you'll enjoy this one next.